دەشتی چۆڵوهۆڵ تا سەعاکوژیا و کوا ساڵح بەبوو کوا ئەحەحە و پیا و شەلەی شاڵەتا و زەویەکەی پیرە هەمووی چۆڵ و هۆڵ مات و زویرە چەمەکەی شلێر چۆڵ و وێرانە بایە قشتایە ئەکا هێلانە لە قوتەی خوژیلک هەتا بۆ خڵان بۆتە هێلانەی پازداری ئێران لە قەندیل تورک زبانی کێشاوە سەدەی کوردستان قەسف کراوە 50 شلێر 22 ساڵە کارەبای نییە ئەمە کەی حاڵە تۆشە ڕائەکەی بۆ ناو پارلمان هەوڵی ئەوتەیە پڕیکەی گیرفان تۆ 9 ملیۆن و کوێرێ 100,000 چۆن قبوڵیەکە خوای پەروەردگار 9 ملیۆن معاش کەیەوە وجدانە خوێنی ئەنفال و کیمیابارانە 1000 پیاوی پیر لەو گەرمیانە ئیسەیش بێماڵن زۆر چاک بزانە دایکی ڕەشپۆشی کفری و خانەقین لە هەشتاکان و ئیسەیش هەر ئەگرین چاوەڕێ ئەکەن بۆ ڕۆڵەی جوان کە بگەڕێتەوە لە بۆ کوردستان ئەتۆش کاندیدی لەو پارلمانە چاوێ بخشێنە بە کوردستانە هەڵمان بژاردی بۆ ناو پارلمان تۆ زۆر زیرەک بووی ئێمە خەڵەتان ئەی برای دەستپاک کاکەی ئیماندار وەرە پێم بڵێ کوا مافی هەژار زەحمەتی زۆری کێشاوە نانی هەزاران پێشمەرگەی داوە 9 ملیۆن معاش زۆرە برادەر جوابەکەی سەختە بۆ ڕۆژی مەحشەر 9 ملیۆن هەشتیان ماڵی هەژارە چۆنی قودەی ئەم هەموو پارە ڕۆژێ ئەبێ خوابی بە سێزوانن مەلەکەل مەود بێ بە میوانن بە زەبری قەمچی ڕۆحل دەربێنێ حەقی هەژاران لە تۆ بسێنێ سەدام بینی زەبوون و زەلیل مناڵە وردە چۆن گرتیان بەدیل لە دوای مدەیە ئەشکەنجە و ئازار بە چاوی خۆدی کە ئایان لە دار خواباکی نییە لە منوتە و سەدام ئیتر بەسیەتی خواردنی حرام نەوە عاجز بێ خواوەنی معبود تۆ ئازیستنی خۆ لە قەومی لوت خدا هاتە جواب لەسەر هەژاران نقممانەکە بە تاوێ باران ئەتۆ نابینی لەم کوردستانە جەڵدار ئەڵەی گەڵا ڕێزانە خدا بیەوێ تۆڵە لێسێنێ بە جەڵدەی دەماغ سەردە تەقێنێ ئەتۆ چوزانی سۆزی ئەمعانە نیر لە گۆڕی قوڵی تاقانە مەر مناڵەکان بکەن بۆ ڕەبۆڕ دینارێ لە لنایە بۆ سەر گۆڕ حیمایەی ئەوێ ئازابی خوایە تۆ بەکار تا وای لەم دنیایە پاڕانەوە لەوێ بێسوودە ئەوە فەرمودەی خدای معبودە
Liza Marcus is a Washington-based writer and the author of Blood and Belief, the PKK and the Kurdish Fight for Independence. She joins us now from Washington. I want to start off with a very basic question. The Kurds are mentioned so often these days in news coverage, but I think most people have no real idea who they are. Just a brief introduction, the origin of the Kurdish people, please.
Well, the Kurds have been in the region of this part of the Middle East, which is Iraq, Turkey, Iran, and Syria, for centuries, and they've always been oppressed, basically, since the modern states came into being in that part of the world. The Kurds have had their national and ethnic rights denied to them, and right now you have about 25 million Kurds living in that region, divided among Turkey, Iran, Syria, and Iraq primarily, and in all cases they've been fighting on and off for political and ethnic-based rights.
Right. Now, am I right in saying that they're Muslim, but they're not actually ethnically Arab?
So they're not ethnically Arab. They are Muslim, different strains of Islam. You have Alawis, you have Sunnis. It's, you know, you've had Jews who have lived in Kurdistan who don't count themselves as Kurds as such, but it's been a very multi-ethnic area. For centuries, and you know, Kurds always have had a very open approach and open attitude towards religious practices, towards living with other people, and they don't identify themselves as Arabs, and they're not Arabs.
Right. Was Saladin a Kurd?
Saladin was a Kurd, actually, but the Kurds are quite proud of him, but they don't see him necessarily as a Kurdish nationalist.
Right.
I think, you know, Kurdish nationalism really took off at the turn of the century when modern nation states started to be created in that part of the world. And, you know, what's really important to remember is that Kurds have wanted Kurdistan for a long time. And now with what's happened in Iraq, the Iraqi Kurds for the first time are the closest of any Kurdish group in that region to gaining independence. And this is a big moment for Kurds throughout that region.
So when the Ottoman Empire declines and decays and various groups are given their own country, that the Kurds are denied, so they're developed in a different way. They're seen by many commentators today as this bulwark of if not the West, of some Western values, or at least an opposition to fundamentalism. Now, is that an authentic analysis, or is that just too optimistic?
You mean to see the Kurds as an alternate to fundamentalism
Yeah,
in the region?
And an opposition to, a formed opposition to that fundamentalism.
You know, there's no question that the Kurds in Syria have been fighting against ISIS. They're no friend of the Islamist jihadists. The Kurds in Turkey have embraced a democratic approach, gay rights, you know, everything you can think of. The Armenians, they're rebuilding churches there. They're at the forefront of that. And then the Kurds in Iraq have created a real secular, you know, democratic state in the making. So there's no question that the Kurds, when you look at them, they should be the best friend of the West because they represent a lot of the approach that the West is pushing for the Middle East.
Right. Do I detect any doubt in your voice? But they sound extraordinary to me. In such a deadly region, they sound like an oasis of hope. But again, I mean, we have got this wrong in the past. Should we be confident?
I think we can be as confident as we can be in an area where, you know, politics shift constantly and there's always new threats. When you look at the Kurds of Iraq, they have really worked hard to develop an economy, to be open to Western businesses, to run a secular state. Like I said before, the Kurds in Syria have put themselves on the line to fight against ISIS since last year, before anybody was really talking about the threat. So the Kurds of Turkey likewise have really promoted, you know, they've promoted women in government, yeah. They've promoted gay rights. They've really shown themselves to be open to what we would consider to be democratic secular values. And I think that they're an important ally. Mm.
Are they getting support from the US, the UK, Israel in any way? Are Western powers supporting them physically with military or financially?
Not really, no. I think the perfect example right now is that the US has really sort of always put its relations with the Kurds in Iraq second. They've really pushed that Iraq should remain a united state and that Maliki, whatever the Prime Minister of Iraq, Maliki, has wanted, they've pretty much supported. Okay. The Kurds of Iraq have always said, you know what, we're not being treated fairly by that.
Thank you very much indeed.